right click Maven update project, force update, and just click on OK. Be modules. In a project, there will be multiple modules exist. Okay. One module is actually one application. Okay, one Spring REST application. Okay, with REST controller and all model classes and all here. Okay, and one-time setup applications will be there. One-time applications. If we have 10 modules, 10 applications will come. Okay, those are actually called 10 microservices actually here. Microservice application. Okay, but here one-time application we are going to write here. Those are actually here. The first one, Eureka server. Second one, config server. Third one, gateway application, gateway server. Okay, first we are going to create this, and later we are going to add multiple here. Admin server, we are going to write even. Okay, distributed tracing here. Okay, we are going to have here EMQs, we are going to enable here. Okay, security service. Token based we are going to do here. Like we are going to add one-time applications a lot. These are the different applications we are going to create in our backend along with your employee service. All are individual applications. Okay. So here, if you create a Eureka server, in your application, you should write Eureka client dependency. If you create a config server, in your application, you should add config client dependency. Gateway is connected with Eureka. Admin again connected with application. Distributed tracing again connected with application. EMQ connected with application. Security connected with the gateway. Like that, links will be created. Okay, which server is for what purpose? Today, we are going to see the overview here. Observe Eureka. It is a register. Okay, register and discovery server. Okay, so this is going to hold all microservice details. Every microservice details must be available here. Okay, what is the service ID, instance ID, host, port, all the details must be available in the Eureka server. Okay, second one is a config server. Okay, common key values of microservices. We are going to hold it one common place. Okay, if we have 4 microservices, 4 are having some common key values, we place in the config server. Next way, gateway server. This is entry and exit point. This is entry and exit point for a complete application here. Okay. This is going to do here routing, filtering, okay, security implementation. We are going to do all these things here. Load balancing comes here. Admin server. Okay, we are going to use a concept called actuator services. Okay, so there's actually UI based visualization, analyzing what is happening here. Distributed tracing. There is a concept called debugging. Generally, multiple microservice debugging is not possible. Individually, you have to debug the services, but to find out the flow of execution, we are going to use distributed tracing. Okay, we are going to use here Zipkin and Sloop combination. Message queues, we are going to use Apache Kafka for continuation data flow. Security token, we are going to use JWT. Of course, you can use OAuth also. Okay, if you want something like Google based, Facebook based also, you can use this even. Okay, these are the one-time setup applications we have to create. Some simple overview I'm just giving here. Look at carefully. This is gateway. Eureka server. This is something like GitHub account. And it is actually config server. This one Git account. This is to find out the visualization. Sleuth and Zipkin. Admin server and actuator. Continuous message flow, MQs. This is microservice application. Microservice application, we add Spring REST, right? Okay, and data, JPL, Lombok, and all we add these things. Not only this, we have to register with Eureka. Here we are adding Eureka client. If we add the Eureka client, it will communicate with the Eureka server. Okay, gateway always go to Eureka and get the microservice details. To connect with the config server, we have to add config client. Okay, and we should even add Zipkin and Sleuth here. Okay, this is actually Apache Kafka dependency we add. Okay, and we even connect with the Zipkin and Sleuth, and we have admin client. Okay, like so far, your application functionality remains same. This entire code remains same. Okay, whatever you wrote, entity, repo, service, IMPL exceptions, everything remains same, but additional configurations will come. Okay, along with your REST application, additional configurations will come. Okay, what are the major benefits actually here? Okay, microservices are independent in components. Okay, load balancing, dynamic routing that is actually called here, visualization and monitoring here. With less memory, they are going to work. Whenever any request comes, that request will hit to gateway. Okay, gateway will give response back. That gateway will go to Eureka first of all, and that Eureka will give microservice details, and it is actually going to link to microservice. Okay, microservice will give response, gateway will provide output. Okay, in today's example, I am going to add Eureka server and gateway server, these two. Okay, these two I'm going to add here. It is actually making the request 1. Okay, take the service ID and go to Eureka. 3, service instance it will get. 4, make request forwarding. 5, that is actually response it will get. 6, same response will be given back. This is an execution flow, not connection flow. Connections will be lot of things. When a request comes, what will happen? First, it will execute in this process here. Yeah, even security will come here. Gateway will be connected to authentication service. Gateway will be connected to authentication service. It will be having some databases separately. Okay, now this is authentication database 1, database 2, independent databases. Okay. will be having. Look at here. I'm just giving the coding steps. First, I'm creating Eureka server. Better to maintain all same versions. There will be no conflict in that case. Just add a Eureka dependency, Eureka server dependency, next and finish. Annotation 1, enable Eureka server. Okay. Here recommended port number 8761. And we should not say self-registration is removed. Eureka dot client dot register fetch registry false, and register with Eureka must be mentioned false. Okay, no need to register Eureka with itself. Generally, these values comes as a true. Okay, to reduce the code for microservice. But one time even coming for Eureka, we are writing as a false. Okay, second thing, on top of the project, right click, Spring add starters are there. You can just observe carefully. This option. Add starters. Here we have to search with Eureka. Eureka discovery client we need to add. Next button, pom.xml and finish button. Okay. One, create Eureka server. File, new, Spring Starter project. Enter name, Eureka server, EX. Next button, dependency you have to choose Eureka server. Next button and finish. Okay. To application.properties at Eureka server. These keys. 3. At main class at Eureka server. Writing one annotation, enable Eureka server. Now, at microservice application. Okay. Add Eureka client dependency. Right click, Spring add starters. Eureka discovery client. Okay. Add Eureka location. See, in the properties file, I'm adding Eureka location here. Okay, Eureka details here. Eureka dot client dot dependency. Eureka dot client dot service URL dot default zone. In real time, see, we are writing http://localhost, okay, 8761/Eureka. Once you deploy in the real time, localhost will be changed to some other values, right? Okay. Once you deploy in the real-time cloud environments, it will get some IP address. So all such localhost keys you remember. Okay. These values recommended to place outside of all the projects, common place, GitHub account. Okay. IP address and port numbers, wherever you have, those we used to keep at dynamic locations. Okay. I'll show that how to move that later. Just remember this, especially this one, and even some passwords also. Okay, so this is Eureka. Second, we have to mention instance. Eureka dot, okay, instance dot, instance ID. Generally, you can write any instance ID. I recommend application name here. That's actually spring.application.name. Okay, just I'm writing here is a employee service. Okay, so I recommend application name. This is service ID. Okay, application name and instance ID a random value. These are the keys added extra along with the dependency at microservice. At microservice application, to link with the Eureka, you need to add Eureka discovery client and Eureka keys at application.properties. In real time, these two keys will be moved to config server, which are generic to all microservices. Okay. Now I'm just running the application for testing purpose as of now. First, always run Eureka server in the execution order. Eureka server. Okay, I have added in employee service. at microservice application, employee service. Default zone indicates actually location. Where is the location of Eureka? I have to say, hey microservice, go and connect it to Eureka server. We have to mention the IP address and port number, right? That is called default zone. IP address and port number. Yeah, Hanumant, this one where you deploy the same IP address we have to mention, and if you modify the port number here, same port number we have to mention here. Yeah, Prashant, these are by default running in the embedded Tomcat. Okay, if you want to run in the external deployment, I'll show how to convert it to where. Localhost 8761. This is Eureka dashboard. Once you're done here, execution. Run Eureka main class and enter this here. Run employee service. Now I'm running employee service here. The most important thing, versions. Which version are you using for employee service? Same version recommended to use for Eureka also. Yes, Alok, we have two properties file. One is actually Eureka properties file. This is microservice properties file. This Eureka properties file is only one time. Lokesh, if you change the properties port number there, you have to change here, both the places. Okay, I'll show how to change the port number later. These are recommended port numbers, work on that one. Not a issue. Refresh. Once you refresh, are you able to see the instance? Instance currently registered with Eureka. Okay. This one, like this. Okay. See, in the latest versions, if you don't add enable Eureka client, also fine. But in the older versions, you will see one more annotation, enable Eureka client. This is older versions you see. Spring Boot 2.2 up to 2.3 will see. In the 2.4 and 5, okay, they made optional. If you don't add, also fine, but I'm adding because old applications in the companies you may see, that's why I'm just mentioning. At employee application, main class level, add. Generally, this one will activate the dependency, but in the latest versions, they made automated. If you don't add, also fine. By default, when you add the dependency, that is sufficient. Okay, only the latest versions, but you have to remember, add this for sure. In the companies, you will find that. Okay, enable Eureka client here, run employee service. Okay, and just check it here. Okay. Jaya Krishna, if you don't give this default location, okay, if you don't give the default location, see the default value. The default value is also this one. If you don't write the default location now, it is okay, but in the future, IP address and port number changes, right? At that time, it is required. Okay, I understood your question. Line number 17. If you don't write today, it is going to work. Why? The default zone for default value for default zone is whatever we wrote manually. But in the future, that will change. At that time, you need to write it manually here. Okay. next thing, okay, I'm just stopping the applications here, stopping the applications in the bottom here. I am writing API gateway application also. Gateway server EX. And one, make a reminder at last. I'll show how to modify. Okay. So here we have to add gateway. And also we should add Eureka Discovery Client. See, at gateway application, we need to add even gateway also one type of microservice only. Gateway also one type of microservice. Okay, that is entry and exit service. Next button and finish button. Gateway server. Okay, so at gateway server, okay, whenever request comes, gateway will go to Eureka. It will get an instance which has less load factor and it will call microservice. Okay, it will communicate to Eureka, hey Eureka, I want to go to employee. Eureka will give employee details. It will execute employee service. Okay, this is something like register. You can compare with your MEC design if you want. Okay, this is EFC front controller. This is handler mapper. This is REST controller. Just a comparison purpose. If you want to remember. Do you remember WebMVC design? Front controller will go to handler mapper, get the details and execute the REST controller. Here also similar design, but these are microservice level. Gateway, go to Eureka. Eureka contains employee application details. It will get and it will call here. So here also I'm writing enable Eureka client. Okay. And what you added at employee service, whatever you added at employee service, see here, these details, Eureka details, I'm just adding it gateway service application properties. Okay. Server.port, recommended port number 80. You can give any port number, not issue. Employee application 8080 I gave, right? It is just 80. It is just 80 recommended port number. Okay. And this is gateway server. This is only single instance, no need to give instance ID. Like this I gave. Okay. Because we will be having single gateway service. Gateway is a single entry and single exit. We will be not having two gates. That's why instance not required. Instance means multiple times we are going to run. Employee service we run multiple times to handle the bulk load, more number of users. Okay. In the gateway, we have to write configuration. Okay. Gateway routing configuration we need to write. Let's not. Just 1 second. Just wait for a second. Now it has come. Sometimes because of multiple versions, it's not able to detect. I have just deleted all the versions here. Nothing to worry. Even old applications, right click Maven, update and force update. If you do, you will get all the jars. We have properties file for Eureka, employee and gateway. Public route locator we have to write. Configure route. Okay. Now here I'm just writing here route locator builder. Okay. Okay, here we have to configure the routes. We are going to write one routing here. This is the employee service ID. And there I'm writing the configuration. First, we are going to mention the path. Look at in the employee REST controller, what is the common path? /API and /employee. If the request is coming for this, okay, then go to the URI, that is load balancer. Load balancer, go to properties file. What is the service ID? Employee service. That we need to give here. Okay, path and URI, filters will come later. This is we have to configure for one route. Okay. So route locator builder. In the builder, we are taking one by one route here. Okay, this is repeated for every microservice. You can give any ID, but the path must be same as REST controller. LB means load balancer, colon, fixed name we have to write. Okay. And here we have to give service ID. Whatever the ID that you see here, same name we have to provide here. Don't worry, I'll revise this one. Okay, LB means load balancer. It's a fixed one. Okay, it's a predefined word, load balancer. It will choose an instance which has less load factor. Now we have to give port number 80, right? Same port number, we have to give it front-end applications also. No, this is mandatory for one routing. This is for one routing, we have to mention this. Here, we'll be having environment. Here, it's just 80. Okay. This API let this be, it's a common path we are going to take here. Okay. This is just 80. This is a gateway port number. API gateway port number. This is 80 port number. This gateway IP address and port number, we have to give it to Angular application team, not the Eureka server here. Okay, any ID you can give, that's your interest. You can give ABCD ID also. Okay, this configuration is identified by using this ID. We can configure in properties file Sagar, but in case of lengthy configuration, properties not recommended. Java only standard configuration. Now I'm running the application. Okay, even I'm running the application here. Okay, now look at the coding order. Even I'll add here. Third, config server. Sorry, gateway service. Okay, create application with the name gateway server EX with the two dependencies. One is actually gateway and Eureka discovery client. B application.properties. See here, register with Eureka. C configuration for routing. Okay, for which request, where to go? At the rate B. Now execution order, run gateway service. Okay. Now I'm running all applications. First, the employee service. Gateway will never connect to employee Pankaj. Gateway will connect to Eureka with the service ID. This name. First, I'm running Eureka service. Sorry. Then I'm running employee service. Then I'm running gateway service. You can run in the given order. First Eureka, then employee and gateway any order. Okay, then run front-end application. Now it should be able to work similar as working before. Able to see the data, right? Okay. I'm just adding here Ajay. Okay, mail, QA, HYD, register, UL. Is this registered? Okay, here cross origin we have to activate. Actually, we have tried a global configuration, temporarily fine. Yeah, we can mention star also. Unable to say. Cross origin added at gateway also. Port number 80 only. Yeah, of course, 80 port number will not be added. That's ignored. No, only at gateway it is sufficient. If we added microservice also fine. Yeah, this annotation sufficient. Any space, configuration, beam, routing. That's it. this official document. Of course, by default, these are allowed. No need to add them, but we'll see. What is the issue? No, we have to put the URL. That's for sure. I'll show global cross configuration. Temporal, let this be. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Port number 8, there is no issue. No, not for Eureka server. Here only we should add. Port number is not mismatch, 80 only. It has to work with a single annotation only. What is the issue? In the latest version, I will check here. Add cross mapping. It is there. First registry also there. Wrong input. Okay, this is reactive mapping, right? Yeah, it's a developer work only. Okay. What is the issue? I'll check. Only single annotation it has to work. This much configuration even not required. Main application type reactive. Okay. Yeah, we can test from Postman also temporarily. With the same URL, what it is blocking here. Post body raw JSON and the employee object we have to pass emp name salary, Ajay, emp salary 2500, emp department, it's a dev, emp address, HYD, port number 80. 80 if you don't write also fine. If the default, if you don't mention it, will be 80. Consent, employee 3 created, perfect. Connecting with Angular only, it is giving issue. Okay, gateway is working fine, no issue with the gateway. I think in the latest version, any modifications or problem is there, I'll let you know. I'm just giving code up to this one. You try in your system. Okay, I have to delete some other dependencies also in M2. I'll check. If multiple versions are there, okay, then also it is a problem. Okay, try this one. Today I'm just stopping the session here itself. Just 1 second. Can you able to speak? You can mute and unmute your devices.
Yes, sir, I can speak.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I can
sir.
speak, sir.
Yes, sir. We can speak, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I can
Yes, sir.
speak, sir.
I'll create one Telegram group, not WhatsApp. WhatsApp is saying something limit crossed. Tomorrow I'll create a Telegram group and I'll share. Okay. You can ask your all the doubts there. Not a issue. Today, unable to take lengthy session. I'm just stopping here only. Tomorrow onwards, we'll be having session, doubt clarification, support and TypeScript class also will start tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. I'll share the code in the classroom, right? Just go through that.